Designing the ultimate customer experience to build customer loyalty. That's this week on An Intentional Business Life. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome to An Intentional Business Life, where the intention is to get our business to make us a ton of money so we can just get on and enjoy life. That's what it's all about. Ah, dear. Sometimes people do look at me strange and go, oh, there's more to business than that. Well, no, not really. But anyway, let's not get on to that subject. The ultimate customer experience. And I guess one thing you've got to care for your customers at the first place. You've got to really want to deliver to them something that you know is going to benefit them. You know, whether it's a mums and dads audience, you know, it's going to benefit them and their families and enhance their life. You know, whether it's a business and you really want to help that business be successful, but also help them have a better impact with their customers as well. You know, going beyond them to see how what you're selling them can help them with their customers as well. So you really have a meaningful impact to them. But designing the ultimate customer experience, and I think in this day and age, based on just what we just talked about then, we have to take a little bit of stock of ourselves and stop going straight into a sale and realizing that, you know, a sale happens probably well into a relationship. I call it the marketing clock, but I suppose it's really a relationship clock. And if we look at a clock and we say, you know, there's, you know, from 0 all the way around to the 12, we are, good morning guys, how are you? Everyone's so friendly down here. So when we have a look at that, we can say that if we drew a clock face on a piece of paper, the first 45 minutes is just getting to know you. That means 3/4 of the clock now is just getting to know you. And I really call it's almost like a research phase. And I guess we've all go through it. You know, we're interested in something, we're wondering whether it'll be right for us. And we start, you know, going on YouTube, going on Facebook, going on our social media, talking to people, getting books, getting magazines. And we start reading up on it and start getting some knowledge. You know, people do this. So that's the space you need to be in. So you have to start going, well, for people to make a better buying decision, a better purchasing decision for my products and services, once they become interested and they want more knowledge on it and they want to feel empowered, they're making a good business decision, how can I help them get better knowledge? What knowledge have I got on my products and services that I can share with them? This gets you into that research phase. It gets you into that 3/4 of the marketing clock that you realize that in this day and age, yes, you do need to put some time and effort and energy into your blog posts, into your videos, into your podcasts, because that's what's going to build your brand. And it's your brand value that's going to dictate how many customers you get and the prices you can charge those customers. The stronger your brand, the more valuable your brand, the more valuable perceived value is for your customers, for your products and services, and you, because you are the brand. It's a personal and a business brand. So when you realize that that is 3/4 of a clock, you suddenly realize that, oh my goodness, I do have to put effort into this area to really help build it. And look, it's not a click and it happens overnight, but the more content you've got out there in your blog posts, in your videos, in your podcasts and things like that, the stronger your brand will become over time. And it's really a time in business rather than a timing. It's not getting the timing right and, oh, I did it just at the right time and look what happened. No, this is a time in. Some people it happens really quickly. Some people it happens in a couple of months. Some people it takes 12 months, 18 months. But I can tell you it's really well worth it. So that's the research. Now, the next 10 minutes of the clock is where they've done their research and it's the selection process. So they're now going to get 2 or 3 customers. We all do this, 2 or 3 or 4, and we start comparing them to each other. Good morning, guys. How are you? And we start comparing them to each other, and we're trying to make a decision on who we think is going to be best for us to buy our products and services. Your customers are going exactly through this process as well. But what am I talking about here is when it's all said and done and it's all delivered, are you doing something special? I mean, you've got their money. You don't have to worry about things. I first came across this with a photographer friend. He became a friend after a while, and it was really interesting. He was a photographer at the local hospital, and he got all these recommendations, to photograph the new babies. And I said, how come they recommend you? And I was expecting, I give rebates, I give commissions, I give spotters fees, just some of the usual. He said, it's just the way I deliver the products to the mums. I said, what is that? And he said, well, when I've delivered the photos, the new baby, he said, I came to realize, through his own wife's experience, that while she's pregnant, all the fuss was on her. And then when she gave birth, all the fuss went to the baby. And he said, and I think that contributes, that postnatal depression and not feeling good anymore. They're excited about the baby, but suddenly all this attention's off them, and it's purely about the baby and not about them. So he said, what I did, he said, I realized that just in those moments there was an opportunity to show the mum that they were just as important. He said, so I used to buy them a little gift and go in after he delivered the photos, which was spectacular anyway, and say, look, I just wanted to pop back in and see you and say thank you for choosing me as a photographer. And he just gave them a little gift. And he said, just something for you as the new mum. And he said it made them feel so special. And he said in the hospital, the nurses were seeing this and going, isn't he so lovely? And that's why he got all these referrals. So what can you give to your clients after the event? It's called the after sales surprise. Just going to that little tiny bit extra. You don't have to do it, so you do it. And it has a massive, massive impact. It is all part of that ultimate customer experience. I'm just going to check my notes because there was one other thing I wrote down there. Oh yes, this is really, really important. This is what I call always have something to invite them to. And this is interesting because as people get to know you and they're looking at your products and services, do you have something to invite them to? Do you tell them about, you have a blog post and every Tuesday there's a new blog posting going and what your blog is about? Do you have events that you run that you can invite people to and talk to them about, that you can say, hey, make sure you come to this next event? Do you have something to always invite people to? That's what I always say to people. If you're doing podcasts, that's absolutely fantastic because you can do a very simple podcast. You can get a web-based app built. And look, if you don't want to go to that extent, do the podcast and put them on my station, the101connection.com.au. Do little 2-3 minute podcasts. Write to me, just say, hey, Michael, can I put my podcast up? Hey, send them, I'll have a listen. If they're great, then we'll put them up. And I'll say, look, you'll be on this day, you'll be on that day. And then you've always got something to invite people to. And I guess we're going back to that relationship building, that educational building. That's why podcasts and blogs and YouTube channels, but make it regular, make it consistent, and then you can say to your clients, even print it on your business cards, don't forget to read my blog post, don't forget to check out my podcast channel here on this day, don't forget to look at it. You've always got something to invite people to. So even if they bought from you now, they can tell their friends, they can refer, it gives them something to refer people to. This is a guy I used. Oh, really? Yeah, listen to his podcast, read his blog posts, do that. And always have something to invite people to. It has a huge impact on your business. It makes you stand out, makes you outstanding. I hope that relationship building, that I call it the ultimate customer experience, but I guess at the end of the day, it's that ultimate relationship between you and your clients. That's what you're trying to build. Thanks for joining me, And I'll see you next week on An Intentional Business Life.